everyone. Welcome back to the Touchline. We are back after a lengthy international break. My name is Oarabile Diphoko, and on the show with me, I have Mr. Vincent as well. Vince, welcome to Touchline.
I'm not happy to be here for obvious reasons, but I'm happy to see you, Ravi. How are you doing?
Thank you. I mean, I got more of the beating, so I don't understand what your issues are. Come on, I got 5 at home. 5.
Doesn't matter. I'm the louder mouth over here, so everybody always has to go and jump on my back. But it's all right. I'm living. I've got something to keep me going here today, so it'll be a good podcast.
As you sip on your drink, if you guys don't know what we're talking about here on Touchline, we are talking about match day 30 in the Premier League. Earlier today, we had a couple of games where Tottenham saw that 3 points being snatched away into 1 in the late stages of the game. That is Joe Willock, your boy, doing the things for the pride of London, taking away those points from Tottenham Hotspurs. And as we speak, Aston Villa are currently in action. Let's see how that game pans out. But let's get into the match or the shock of the weekend. That is Chelsea going down to a West Brom side at Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel's first defeat. How did you find that game, Vince?
Finally. Absolutely fine. I have no shame. If London is going to lose, then let it be all of London that loses. So I won't lie. When I watched that game, I thought to myself, it looked shaky in the beginning, and it was shaky.
Yeah.
In the beginning. But I was not at all prepared to go and see what was going to become of Chelsea, guys. 5-2.
Yeah.
5-2. Last time I saw Chelsea beat 5-2 when Percy was still playing at Arsenal. No. You guys also need to do better. And it's
Listen.
It's awkward now because you guys are in a great position. Now all of a sudden it's a game of, one step forward, 2 steps backwards. Come on.
Yeah. Listen, I am livid. If there's a player that I do not like right now, it is Mateus Pereira, because Mateus in the Premier League this season, he has 7 goals. 5 of them are against Chelsea. So I am not happy with that boy. And as well, the red card did not help Chelsea's case in any way.
But you feel like getting a red card, but having the defense that you guys have, you would be able to at least make it somewhat honorable. But no, man.
Yeah.
You can't be sitting here as the pride of London and then allowing West Brom to go and score 35% of the goals that they've scored this season have come against the mighty Blues. No, man. I
don't like how you put that in quotations, because that doesn't go away just because of West Brom, a team that probably will not be in the Premier League next season. So this better be the one to go away.
That's what's more embarrassing, is that you're sitting here, you're supposed to make light work, of the babies. Look at me, Google Gaga. But now, but you go and perform. And I wouldn't even say you guys perform against the good sides. I would just say you guys managed to get a result out of the big sides, be it a draw, be it whatever. But this time, I feel like this undefeated run that Tuchel's been with Chelsea has almost essentially always been papering the cracks, I feel.
Yes.
There is a big problem over there on the left side of your defense where Marcos Alonso is involved. There's a big problem over there. It's always been an absolute barricade. Yes, you have him there as your left wing back, but it's always been an issue. And I feel like you guys almost need to grab this loss against, those guys with striped T-shirts for you guys to realize that it's not that easy this side. You're not going to go and collect your 3 points easy in the Premier League.
But, these are some of the things that I've spoken about time and time again with regards to Chelsea. Less than 2 weeks ago, I sat here and I said, Thomas Tuchel is going to get the Chelsea treatment where they're going to get on that field and they won't play. And there will be no excuse, because that just seems to be the culture at Chelsea. But thankful for me, I really do believe this was the perfect time for him to see what they really can do to his career, because this is what Chelsea has done to previous managers for so long. And looking at the run they're going to go on now, Champions League being back, and as well, that means that Alonso kind of side has opened up again for Ben Chilwell. So hopefully he takes his spot, his rightful spot, where he belongs, and we'll see how all of that goes. But moving on to either, yeah?
He was almost Frank Lampard second child after Mason Mount for obvious reasons. But I feel that he offers you so much more. But I feel that Chilwell's play complements who his front man is. So if his front man is a certain man by Olivier Giroud, it makes his game completely different. Whereas now Marcus Alonso is your more scoring left back. Alonso's more your assist. So it's going to be interesting. You guys have an incredible run of fixtures coming along. It's just a matter of one. Can you get Timo Werner to leave his ruse of Germany, leave his current ruse that he's experiencing at Chelsea, and essentially show us what he's about.
Like Timo Werner's problems just seem to follow him everywhere. He can't seem to shake it off. We saw it in international break where he blatantly missed such a blissful opportunity, and he decided that it wasn't time for him to get back to scoring ways. So hopefully, like you said, the Chelsea bench can be shaken up a little bit and those boys get cracking again. And in other fixtures that I just want to quickly mention, Leeds beating Sheffield United. In my head, I've decided Sheffield, it's a wrap. They really thank you for participating. Thank you for coming to the Premier League. But we have now moved on. In other games that were also played, Leicester welcomed a Man City side that have now confirmed that Liverpool will not be able to defend their title with that victory against Leicester.
No. Look, I think that was just a more formality more than anything.
Yeah, mathematically. We live in South Africa. The calculators must come out.
Exactly. We've been on our calculators, worst case scenario since December already. Look, Man City played Leicester out of the City. And I want to say Kevin De Bruyne was absolutely running it, but the whole team was just they were absolutely there was a spell of possession for a good 10 minutes where I believe that the possession stats were 98% to 2% to Leicester. That's ridiculous.
That is pathetic.
10 minutes in a football game getting 98% possession. It's ridiculous. So for me, City were there. They were imperious. They were at their best. I wouldn't even say they had their best starting 11 on the field, but you have a maestro and Kevin De Bruyne pulling the strings. You have Eduardo Mendy cutting in on his left foot and nestling it with his right foot. How dare you? What are they? Yeah. Look, for me, dude, Man City is a problem because I look at Mendy and I'm thinking
it's a beautiful problem.
Mendy's a fantastic player. Let's not lie. He's bombing. He's amazing. And his left foot cross is incredible. But then he's cutting in and scoring. Then you have a guy like Joao Cancelo who essentially turns into a central attacking midfielder.
He's a midfielder. I don't even know what it is anymore. I've given up on what he plays. If they put him as a false nine someday, it'll be okay in my books because
that's my challenge with City is that Pep just knows what he's doing with that side, and it's a matter of how the personnel that he has on the side on that given day is catered to his personnel's abilities. So if Mendy's on there, you absolutely see Mendy hugging the touchline, knowing his role in terms of bombing up and down, creating chances. When Cancelo's on there, he's coming inside, creating that extra man in midfield. And every single time, it just seems like this guy gets it right. They had that blip in performance against their noisy neighbors, but you essentially don't see the Man City juggernaut stopping anytime soon. They won the Premier League. It's now just a matter of how many trophies they can win this season.
And the fact that Sergio Aguero has now confirmed that he is leaving the club, and with Man City only 11 points away from lifting another Premier League title, do you think they have to go out and buy a new striker?
I was listening to Pep's interviews, and Pep always gives a couple of Easter eggs in a sense in terms of what he's going to do, but I can't trust Pep. If Pep is coming to me and telling me that
he's a liar, don't trust that man. He's a liar.
Stop capping us as well. You're going to kind of come to us and tell us that, listen, looking at the market that we're in right now, we can't afford those strikers. No, Pep.
Yes.
Don't lie. You spend 200 million over fullbacks over 2 seasons, okay? If Erling Halland wants to go to Manchester City can put out the money. But you start to think to yourself, do Man City need to put out the money? Because half the season they've played without a striker and they've absolutely run everybody.
Dominated.
So for me, I feel that Man City should be in the market for a striker, but it's all dependent on how the rest of their fixtures go. So if Man City are able to go and essentially lift, and I'm talking about prestigious competitions, so I say trophies at this season, then I think it regiments the fact that Pep doesn't essentially need that help. If he just has Gabriel Jesus over there, if he has Ferran Torres there, he's all right with that. They can start, opening up in different areas. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking at a guy like Sterling, whose numbers have been incredibly amazing.
Incredible since Pep took over. It's absolutely ridiculous.
He's not catching a sniff, So, yeah, it's interesting for me. I think Pep does have something up the sleeve for the transfer market because there are no plans to go and reinforce the defense. The midfield is packed. You've got sensational Phil Foden still doing his thing. So the only area you feel that they can go and
is that number 9.
Is that number 9.
Yeah.
So will they get, the money boy from Dortmund, or is the money boy from Dortmund going to Barca? I know who I would choose.
You don't know.
But we don't know.
But looking at that Dortmund team that you just mentioned, I mean, this coming week is the Champions League week, and Manchester City do have a little bit of a battle on their hand when they are now facing Dortmund. Looking at, Halland, looking at the Rumours, what are you thinking? Where do you see him going? And also, can Dortmund survive without him? Because I'm also looking at the fact that Jadon Sancho has been wanting to leave as well.
Yeah, it's the story. I fear for Dortmund next season in the sense that they could be potentially losing Halland, But if they lose Halland, then surely they keep Sancho. But Sancho, I think, is quite clear in the fact that he actually also wants to leave. So that's
a dangerous game. That'll be very dangerous if they do that.
Absolutely. If they lose Erling Haaland, if they lose Jadon Sancho in the same transfer window, that'll be the worst. That's essentially their worst case scenario. Where I think personally Haaland is going to end up, because of the difficult situation that Barca find themselves in, and because his agents are essentially in talks with Barca, and also because you still feel that Zinedine Zidane is still going to continue to put all his faith in Karim Benzema. I'm looking at Erling, but also I look at Erling and I'm just thinking to myself, but is Barcelona the right fit?
And especially now, because they too have to go through that transition stage, because they need to start filtering out, is that a chance he is willing to take in his career right now by going to Barca?
Given the form that he's in, given the fact that he's the hottest piece of property on the market
right now.
Yeah, and look, you know where you can go to hit your ground running. You know where you can go to become better. But I'm not too sure that I am willing to go and trust Barcelona to make me better at this stage. I don't know if I can go and trust the inconsistency of Real Madrid to also get me to that level. But I can go and I don't know if I can trust Chelsea, because you know what you do with Chelsea, But also, you feel that, Halland does essentially fit
at Chelsea.
What a Chelsea, what a number 9 at Chelsea can do. I've always said at Chelsea, you have to be recognized. You have to be recognized.
Yeah.
You don't go and wear the number 9 at Chelsea after the Drogbas of the world, after the El Ninos of the world, after the Costas of the world. You don't go and wear that jersey. You've got to have the character. Timo Werner doesn't have the character right now. But
not right now, no.
A guy like Erling Haaland with the wing supply that he's sitting in that left position, with the crosses that Chilwell's going to bring in, Reece
can provide,
with the Mason Mounts and the balls that he's going to put through for you. Ooh, man.
Yeah.
I would look at Chelsea and I would flirt. I'd be like, hey baby, I see you. But also there's City as well. Oh man. The reality is,
I see you do.
And anyone who knows football, you're always going to be attracted to the traditional names: Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah, the big names.
So it's going to be interesting to choose. Yeah.
Now another one I just want to quickly touch on. Where do you think Sergio Aguero will end up? Because he did say he wants to stay in the Premier League.
See, I didn't know that he wants to stay in the Premier League. But if he wants to stay in the Premier League, he's not going to Chelsea. Chelsea don't buy 31-year-old strikers unless it was Olivier Giroud. Okay. He's not going to go to Liverpool. Okay. He's not going to go to Spurs unless a certain Harry Kane leaves Spurs. We'll chat about that in another podcast. I don't think that Arsenal have the money capacity to go and bring him in. So if he's going to stay in the Premier League, it would just be shameful for me to go and see him have a move like a Wayne Rooney move to like an Everton or something of the sort. But best believe clubs will be interested. Clubs will be very interested.
I mean, just based on everything you were just mentioning, you took out the teams that have the capability and the money to actually afford him. Because at his stage in his career, he wants moolah. You know?
Wants moolah. But I'm just not too sure if he will get the Premier League move that he's looking for.
Yes. I think he will have to settle. Yes.
Yeah. So he will have to settle. So it's a matter of which of those. Essentially, now we don't have a top four. We have maybe a major six, shall we say? So first, possibly, depending on whether Mourinho still has that pulling effect. Chelsea, we can't see it going there because Chelsea don't buy that kind of player. Liverpool, he's not going over there. Manchester United, I don't even want to entertain that conversation. No, it's not happening. All right. Everton, we don't know. Arsenal, we don't know. So look, I think Premier League is amazing because one of those series you can't go and watch now and binge it. You've got to go and wait for the week and see what happens. So, oh man, I'm excited.
It's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. I personally see him. I don't see him in the Premier League next season. If he wants to play for a recognized side, I don't see him in the Premier League next season.
I guess so. Now I want to come back to the Premier League chat. Having Harry Kane scored early on in the Tottenham and Newcastle game, he has now taken over as the top goal scorer with 19 goals. But in another game that I thought, the top goal scorer would have continued, that was Mo Salah. But unfortunately, it was not him today. Diogo Jota seems to be getting Liverpool out of trouble like he was in the first part of the season. And he seems to be back right where he left off, beating you guys a 3-0. What happened, Vince?
We were outplayed. We were outplayed in every sense of the word. They won the first balls. They won the second balls. They were more dominant with the space. They were hungrier. They wanted it more. They had a clear, defined, plan in terms of how they were going to go about this fixture. And our guys went up for it. I mean, I'll tell you what irritates me. I think nothing irritates me more than seeing a guy who's 168 going and climbing above defenders that are over 1
and winning
184. But look, Jota's intelligent. He's an intelligent player. It's the dummying the run that way and going that way and getting in between two defenders, being able to go and nestle in a header. And it's clever runs. And I think it's that debate of does what Firmino does in terms of him being the system.
What he brings to the team.
Is Firmino not because I know Firmino for Klopp, for me, he isn't a part of the system. He is the system, Is Firmino being the system worth more than essentially a guy like Jota, who is just so unpredictable, and you essentially just know how hungry he's going to get and how he's that irritating thing, on a defender's shoulder every time. I feel like he's never tired. He's never tired. He gives you 100% every time he comes on, whether it be a sub, whether it be a starter. So yeah, look, Arsenal outclassed yesterday, but I just think at a stage, you've also got to start holding people accountable, man. Arsenal were absolutely nowhere in that game. Tactics, absolutely disarray. I don't know what Aubameyang is doing, bringing out his inner Jorginho. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant to watch. Thiago absolutely ran the show.
He's back, man.
Yeah, Fabinho. Look, Thiago has won a trophy in 9 out of the last 10 seasons. Okay, he's not a small boy player. So Liverpool can come to me and tell me that, listen, no, we've had difficulties this season. You can have difficulties in the season, but if you have 11 world-class players on a pitch at a time with a world-class manager,
you don't have any excuse.
Who's been in these situations, it doesn't last. So I know Liverpool, I think, about 4 points behind the top 4 right now. So it's 2 points.
2
2 points.
points. Depending on what West Ham do tomorrow, they've now taken advantage of what Leicester and Chelsea failed to do this weekend. They are now 2 points from the top 4. So I look forward to that one.
It's almost like either Chelsea don't want it or, Leicester don't want it. It's almost like shades of 2019, 2020 with Leicester.
2020.
Yeah,
It's exactly 2020 because Chelsea secured top 4 literally on the last day. So they are doing exactly what they did last season. Except this season, they don't have a chance to excuse it because 222 million was spent.
Yeah. And you did get rid of a manager who apparently wasn't working. So look,
exactly.
let's not beat up Thomas Tuchel too much. He has had a great run of fixtures, so I expect Chelsea to be able to finish up in that top 4. I expect Leicester to finish up in that top 4. It's just a matter of that last
one.
That race for top 4 is so hot right now, so hot. There's certain teams oh man!
Looking at that team, you do not want to mention that plays next at 8:30, Manchester United, who will be taking on the likes of Brighton. Firstly, let's look at what international break has done to most of the team. Percy Tau cannot play due to the quarantining rule. Is that something we can really blame on Brighton because they haven't really been playing him? So that's really not an excuse anyway. But also, Brighton are at a point now, it's crunch time. They really need to be winning those games.
100%. And I feel that the efforts that they've gone to with Percy, you've gone through this route, okay? You pushed this guy so much. And you can even see how, the reaction of Percy Tau when he plays social media. And it's not that social media are the best, so I say analyze in terms of, where this guy should be starting. But you've risked a lot on this guy. Sent him on loans. You knew what the situation was with regards to his work permit. So now it's essentially you need to go and back up, the things that you were putting out about this guy. And personally, look, maybe there's a little bit of bias in him coming from here, but that boy needs to play. That boy is special. That boy is electric but he needs a run of fixes. He needs a run of fixes in the Premier League, and we just need to see the Percy Tau that we know. But obviously he needs to convince Brighton that he can go and do that at a consistent level. So I think personally the way they go and treat the quarantine period, I think that needs to be needs to be looked at differently. If it's a matter of football players and them being vaccinated first, I think we need to go and look at that. Given the fact that I think the rollout plan essentially for I think everyone in the UK to have had these vaccines by June at least. I think if it's essentially guys that are traveling on international fixtures that are going to be in contact with these guys need to get vaccinated as soon as possible. So essentially, because it's a big determining thing in terms of a revenue scale. If a club solely relies, if a club relies on Kevin De Bruyne and Kevin De Bruyne gets coronavirus, that is a massive
blow. It's a big blow to the team.
Yeah, so I feel like we also need to go and be a little bit conscious to these kind of things, and measures need to be put in place. And if measures aren't in place, let the guys play, man. Let the guys play.
Yeah, agreed. Now that is all the Premier League action that we have to discuss with you. But now taking a look at the rest of the world, there's been some rumors, there's been some hem-hems. Did you happen to catch that PSG Lille game last night? Because wow, all the action took part after the 90th minute. Like all the red cards started flying.
I'm telling you, it's all that anger from my sister's birthday, and that's my issue with Neymar is that you look at a guy like Ronaldo and you look at a guy like Messi, you can maybe handpick on one hand the amount of games that they've completely lost it, and they've cost their team, and they've cost their team in that sense. And yes, I like it. He's flamboyant. He's out there. But you are the highest paid, one of the highest paid, not just football players, but athletes in the whole world.
Athletes.
You essentially, you have, I don't want to say you have a team built on your shoulders or riding on your shoulders, but you are PSG, And for him to go and I think take them back that couple of steps. We have, if he does this now in the Champions League, come on, man. And PSG are in such a good position in the Champions League that you see him lose his head like that in a Champions League game. That's essentially the whole thing that they've been building up to in terms of winning. Absolutely evaporated in maybe what might be Mbappe's last year. So yeah, man, Neymar,
that's
amazing
true.
football at the feet, but I feel like in his head he completely loses it at times.
Absolutely insane. And he's been racking those up. That's his third red card in 14 league appearances, or 14 games. So that is questionable. Also, looking at his age, the youngsters are currently looking at him like, you cannot behave in that manner. But I guess the reason why for that is because with that win, Lille have now overtaken top spot. They are sitting on 68 points, while PSG are currently on 66 points. And we know it's getting down to the wire in that league. So I see where the anger came from, but there was really no logic or maturity in that decision, because if you really were trying to fight for the league, you have now cost your team 3 games without you.
Oh, and now, but it begs the question, like, yes, Neymar was wrong. But guys, you can't have a stacked team, a stacked roster like PSG, and then go and look at Lille, and then go and tell me that Lille are gonna go and challenge you for Ligue 1. No, man. I also personally need to go have a serious conversation with Mauricio and say, Mauricio, no, man, come on.
What's happening?
You want to give me a completely dominant, imperious performance against Barcelona, but then you go and face Lille in your domestic league, knowing that you need to go and gather momentum after the international break. And now players are down. You are second in your league. The momentum is gone. The confidence, I would say, has taken a little bit of a hit. Everything plays a role in terms of building your perfect championship story. And if they want to be at the summit of the Champions League, come what may be in May, that is not that's definitely how you do it.
That's definitely not there. But like we always say, man, Champions League has a way of bringing out the best in people. So all the best to them when they play a Bayern side that will be without Lewandowski, even though they won their first game without him just yesterday. So we know what a well-oiled machine Bayern seem to be. But good luck to PSG as Champions League is coming right back this week. And now moving into the Italian side of life, where Juventus seem to be slipping down rather than actually making their way up. And also the rumors of Ronaldo being finished. My guy has scored 24 league goals. What more do they need?
I've never seen a more disrespected man, literally in the history of man. Literally in the history of man. This guy has single-handedly carried Juventus in the 3 seasons that they were there. You know what? And it's social media trolls, it's analysts, they're trolls as well. Guys, Ronaldo's tenure at Juventus has been, and this isn't for me, trying to, give Ronaldo the flowers that maybe he doesn't deserve at Juventus.
Yeah.
But he has been incredible for them. You look at his numbers, his return, the adjustment period that we never ever consider for Ronaldo, because we don't look at him as a mere mortal.
Yeah.
There was no adjustment period. He came in there guns blazing, came in there playing a brand new position. When he went to Juve, he was playing a full 9 position, whereas obviously when he was at Madrid, when he was playing with Benzema, he was still coming in from the set, from the left wing,
from the left. Yeah.
And the fact that he needed no adjustment period in terms of playing under the managers there. He's played under 3 managers, in 3 seasons at Juve, and all 3 seasons his numbers have been
done well.
So he's done amazing. Look, at the end of the day, sometimes you also need to go and blame the club. I feel that Juve gambled this year in terms of their coach. They took a big gamble in a guy who'd coached the under-19s for a season, and then all of a sudden you're going to go and give a guy who coached the under-19s for a season the helm of the job at Juve, to go and coach a personality like Ronaldo, a personality like Dybala, Champions League winners, World Cup winners, a guy like, and I just don't think that this was the year to go and gamble it. You are getting Ronaldo in maybe his sestet years in Shakespearean terms. So you don't waste
the years that he has left.
Last 2 seasons of Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't waste that on a coach that doesn't come with a resume. I'm sorry. But yeah, Juve, the league is done. The league is done. Inter Milan, Lukaku, Antonio Conte.
I mean, Juve have been winning the Scudetto since the year 2010, and that was the last time that Inter had won the title. And moving into the Inter chat, I want to quickly touch on Romelu Lukaku, who has now scored 20 goals this season. And with that 20th goal, he has made sure that Inter Milan are at the top of Serie A with 68 points and a game in hand. That boy has been marvelous.
Do you know, at a stage, we also need to start respecting people and players. We need to respect Antonio Conte, and we need to respect Romelu Lukaku. Sometimes we also need to accept that sometimes the structure is wrong, okay? Not the personnel. When Antonio came to Chelsea, he completely changed how you guys play. He changed the tenacity of the play. He humbled players. But unfortunately, it's a lot like, being the most intense teacher. The most intense teacher will always get the results, from because of that fear factor, because of the fact that no one expects them. But essentially, if someone is in your ear badgering you every single day, you also get tired of it. And I feel like that's
you start cracking.
Exactly, and Premier League players will be like that. Chelsea players will be like that.
Will be like that.
You go to Italy, where he knows that Serie A in and out. He knows the language. He knows how the players are. He knows the managers, and he is a student of the Serie A. Oh man, it's been amazing, and also for me, I think just watching the resurrection of Romelu Lukaku. A guy who apparently was not good enough to go and play for, open inverted commas, the best club in the world. A guy who apparently was not enough to go and lead them at the helm has now gone to the second best side in Italy, and he has, I wouldn't say carried them, but essentially has been the most vital part to their championship run. Nothing but happiness for Romelu, and
Inter Milan.
When they win
it's a win even.
It's a
yes.
Win. When they win that thing, Romelu Lukaku deserves his flowers. That's all.
Okay, drops mic, he does. And that is how we wrap up the European section here on the touchline. Let's bring it closer to home. I just want to close off the show in terms of the CAF competition. Mamelodi Sundowns haven't drawn on Friday, even though they had already qualified. They will now move on into the knockout phases. And also, interesting fact, if they do make it into the quarters, they might just face Al Ahly. Do you remember that Mamelodi Sundowns are still undefeated, and that was the first time they dropped points on Friday? So it will be a fantastic game to watch if that were to happen. But also another team that most people are buzzing for has to be the likes of Kaizer Chiefs, who won as well at the FNB Stadium. That was just a solitary 1-0 win. Bernard Parker scoring the only goal of the game. I'm sure the 9 men that were left on the field for Kaizer Chiefs, because 2 players haven't gotten red cards, that is Akpe as well as Nikovic in the dying minutes of the game. So Kaizer Chiefs ended that game off with a 1-0 victory and 9 men on the field. And another game that is yet to take place later on tonight, Orlando Pirates are in action in Libya, and also they are making history, being the first club to play in Libya since the ban has been lifted. Do you remember there's been a civil war in Libya? So Orlando Pirates are there to make history as well as go there for 3 points. And that is how we wrap up the CAF competition for this week. Vince, are you still with me?
I'm still here. I'm still listening to you. I'm always so in awe. I just sit back here and watching, thinking to myself, how do you store all of that? Where are you reading this from? I'm tired as well. But yeah,
man, that's
some excitement.
Thank you.
On a South African scale, I think your research is as amazing as usual. So I think we keep on hoping for that poetic, game in terms of Sundowns versus Al-Ali, with Beto there.
Mm.
We're sitting there in anticipation, waiting that it can happen, But, the football gods can only be kind once a year. So if we can just kind of like encourage them for that fixture to go that way, then it would be amazing. And we know what the headlines are going to say. If Al-Ali win, we know what it's going to say, but we also know what the headlines are going to say. If Sundowns now going do what they've been doing in South Africa.
Exactly.
Guys, Sundowns in terms of, I want to go and say their game management. If you go and watch how Sundowns play in the dying embers of the game, if the game is sealed, chasing the game, it's just so professional, man. It's Sundowns don't get enough flowers. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think we're going to be here. Hopefully we can have a touchline bribe, maybe watch all of this ensue
together, huh? Yeah, man, I think we should. And that is how we are going to wrap up Touchline here tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Vince. Please have a lovely night further. You still have one more day, so no work for you tonight. Please enjoy the games that are yet to come. I don't know how you feel about the Manchester United and the Brighton game, but hey, it's football, man. You got to watch.
You know how I feel about that side, guys. I've never, ever been shy about my hate for that side. So honestly, I know which team's colors I'll be wearing a little bit later.
Thank you for all of that. My name is Oarabile Diphoko and he is Mr. Vince. Please do like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube page, that is Touchline Podcast, as well as finding us on all social media platforms, that is Touchline SA on Instagram as well as Twitter. From us, from the Touchline team, until next time, we are out.